everyone, it's Lynette with Charmed Grammy Crochet. Thank you all for joining me here in the yarn room today. I am doing some filming ahead. So my video yesterday, my video today, that you're seeing Monday, which is right now, which is when I'm filming right now, and probably, so that's 4, 5, and 6. I'm probably going to film ahead. Well, 4 isn't ahead, but I'm filming the same day. Let's do that, because Roy is having a procedure tomorrow, and I don't know if I have time tomorrow to do a vlog. So we're going to do it today, and we're going to talk about real quickly, just if you know Laura at Mimi's Crochet and Farming and Jan and Alaskan Crafter, and they've come out with this challenge for Boggy Creek to make, well, there's no page on this book, to make the cat's meow. And Laura gave away a lot of free patterns, and you would actually have, I will have her linked below, but you'll have to find her to find out where to get it from. It is designed by Christine Noggle, and it's in Annie's Designs. She had to step me through it. I don't know how to do that. She gifted it to me. Anyway, I know we've complained and griped a little bit about the pattern, and not so much the pattern, but sizing it. And then, after all that griping, I don't know why we weren't smart enough to think of this ourselves, but I watched Shannon at another yarn. I always want to give her the wrong YouTube name, but I watched Shannon at another yarn, and she said, you know, guys, don't freak out if you can't get the right swatch if you're too big, because look, you've got all this excess over here. You can chop off a few rows here. There's excess at the top here. You can chop off a few rows. She started hers not quite all the way at the bottom, and then she could use the yarn she wanted to use, and the stitch that the pattern calls for, which I thought I was the only one that never heard of it before. Well, the Zoom sisters hadn't either. But I really love the stitch, actually. It's not a hard stitch. It's a very simple stitch. If you can half double crochet, doing it is just really simple. And I'll go into that in a minute. So once you get gauge, whatever gauge that works for you, just make the pattern smaller. You know what I mean? Like, you can cut off the sides, no problem. If your gauge isn't big enough, that's the easiest part, because you can just add a border. And then you're good. So even if you just add a border at the top and bottom because your width is good but your height is wrong, top and bottom border or side to side border or whatever it takes. You know, we're not entering these into a contest. It's just to put on some beds for some kids and make the room look really cute with all of your, you know, own color choices and like matching for everybody in their room. Because, you know, when you go to camp, if you've ever been to camp, like, you're gonna make closer friends with the people that are in your cabin, most likely, because you spend more time with them. You know, I mean, you socialize with everybody. But it would be kind of cool if you could all have the same kind. And so it would be really neat if we had enough to, like, fill a cabin and of all the kitty cat designs. Like, how cool is that? Last year, Jan came up with the stained glass design to use. And she had several patterns you could use. And they were fabulous. And we started separating them into the bags separately because we started getting so many. And I think we collected enough to do several cabins at a time. So how cool is that? So anyway, if you haven't purchased this pattern or weren't gifted it and you really want to make it, the stitch isn't hard. And so I'll explain that to you. I know Laura's just doing a regular half double crochet because she couldn't get gauge. She crochets so tightly. And I can attest to this. Last year, she used like a big twist or just some generic, you know, store brand yarn and made 17 granny squares to send to Lynanne for Boggy Creek. Lynanne from Nina's Knots Crochet. She took one skein and she got 17 squares out of it. I take one skein, I get 15 squares out of it. So she crochets way tighter than I do. And I thought I crocheted tight, but apparently I don't. I think I'm more normal, or at least I used to be tighter, but I've learned to loosen up. So hers were real small. But again, you can add more rows to the edges, make a border. But I think the stitch is a little fatter, and I didn't bring mine up here because it's all in a bag. But I think that that knotted half double stitch might be a little thinner. She got gauge easier, or not, she's not even at gauge. But she got hers better with just doing the half double crochet. But so these are your stitches in your bottom row, the row underneath. The foundation half double crochet, knotted half double crochet. No, you just did a foundation double crochet row. I think that's to start with. But if you don't know how to do that, it's not a big deal. Just do a chain and then come back and do a half double crochet row and just start your blanket from the other side. It really doesn't matter. And then the knotted, so you come up and this is the end of your first row where you're going to now put in your first half double crochet, a knotted half double crochet, you chain one. Into that chain space that you just created right there, you yarn over and go into there. Then you yarn over again and go into your stitch. You yarn over again and you pull through all. There would be 5 loops, you pull through all 5 loops. Then you yarn over, you go back into that stitch that you just created, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, all through 5 loops. So you're just connecting these two, and then you connect these two, and then you connect these two. It gives you a more solid pattern, just like the joined, I think it's what they call the double crochet joined, or joined double crochet. I use that to make the sweater for my granddaughter. I love that stitch. It's so great for garments. I would use this knotted half double crochet for garments all the time. I love the half double crochet. It's a quick, easy stitch. And this one is quick and easy. Once you start flowing with it, man, it flows really nice. And you have a solid garment. You don't have to wear, you know, a camisole underneath. So that, you know, or a tank top or something. So, you know, so you're not half nude. So I really love it for garments. And then it would be a nice warm blankie too. So anyway, the biggest crochet problem. So if you have the pattern and you thought you were giving up, try it again. Just size it. You know, size the blanket to your crochet style versus trying to style your crochet to the blanket, because that is very frustrating. I 100% get that. 100% understand that. Oh, okay, so that's the first thing. Now, the thing that also is hard with this is, look at this grid. It is itsy bitsy. I can't. I was just struggling to see it, even with a magnifying glass, and I can't count where I'm going and whatever. I went to Staples. Now look at my grid. Compare. I'm like, I am using a, I'm going to use a dry erase, because you can, on a laminate surface. I'm going to dry erase and mark my stitches off as I go. Well, not each individual stitch, but like at the line where the colors join in the pattern, not the middle. So let's go back to the original. And this, you know where the colors are joining because it's the same spot every single time. But here, where you have to count over and whatever. Also, Shannon had the actual written pattern. I did not get that with what I have. I don't know why. but I'm going to check into that, because the actual written, you know, 29 white and 39 variegated, that's easier than trying to count on the grid. But now that my grid is bigger, because you can also say, you know, it's never a big jump. It's one stitch in, 2 stitches out, you know, like that. So if you keep your center line straight, you can just add and crochet, you know, subtract on the stitches. The only part that might get difficult is when you're coming into the tail. You gotta be like pretty more accurate there. But I think, I haven't used it yet, but I think my bigger printed grid is going to solve all of my problems with that. And you know, and Shannon she's been crocheting way longer than I have, and this is like my 2nd or 3rd graph. So thank you for the tips so much, Shannon. And if you don't know Shannon at Another Yarn, I will link her, and you really need to go check her out, because she is so creative. I can't even tell you. She just makes the funnest stuff. So speaking of fun stuff, Laura, and they're up to all kinds of shenanigans, Laura and Jan. So they also, as you may or may not know, they do hooker versus hooker. I did not participate in July. I just, with vacations and I kind of had lost my Crojo, I didn't have it in me to do that. So sadly I did not. Now I'm sorry, but congratulations to Laura for winning. I'm real happy for you, sweetheart. She didn't really think she would ever win any, and I kept telling her that I missed on the live. I was only able to pop in for a little while, and they had already shown their projects, and Laura was already picked as the winner. I knew what Lynn was making. I did not know. I never had Jan alone where I could ask her what she was making. Because if I had, I don't know if I would have said that somebody else was already making that to one of them. But it's kind of unique. I probably wouldn't have, because you're not allowed to tell. But they did each put their own little spin on it. But they made the same darn pillow. It's so funny that they picked out the same thing. Anyway, and then the girl Amy, oh my goodness, what she did was so awesome. She is so cute too. Did you see her? You got to get back into it, girlfriend, because you're very talented, and I think you could really grow a YouTube channel. You're bright and cheery and young, and it's good to see young people actually, you know, getting involved in our old ladies activity. When I see young people crocheting, and then I hear comments from people, well, that's an old person thing. I'm like, not anymore. Get them youngins in there. So anyway, back to Laura and Jan. They for August, the project is anything Halloween. Well, we do know Billie the Crafty Floridian. Of course, everybody knows Billie the Crafty Floridian, right? She is collecting squares for Boggy Creek with specific holiday design themes. And I believe her squares are 6x6 that she's looking for. She made the cutest blankets out of everybody's squares. She put so much thought into the squares. And she's even, you know, she's like, you can just give me solid squares and I'll put stuff on them myself if you don't want to. She's like crocheting little appliques and so cute. And then she's, you know, putting them in for Boggy Creek. So I'm going to do a twofer and do the hooker to hooker and do some squares to send to Billie. She's taking, I think, 6, but maybe she's increased her number that she will accept from everyone. And she's doing the holidays of Halloween, Christmas, and St. Patrick's Day. So with that in mind, I have this book, 30 granny squares, 33D granny squares, not 30, just 3D granny squares. Oh my goodness, my dyslexia shows once in a while, just a little slightly dyslexic. Anyway, I got this off of Amazon. I do believe. Or maybe it was gifted to me. Either way, it's on Amazon. You can get it there. I think somebody bought this for me. If you bought it for me, please remind me. My memory is so bad. But I love it. I totally love the book. And so I'm going to send her, I think, some pumpkins. And I am definitely doing, and I might just, spiders. So cute. Now the book not only has the written instructions on how to do everything, but it also has graphs for all of them as well. So you can follow along with both. If you don't know how to read a pattern, but you can read a graph, you can practice and then check yourself, and vice versa. If you can read a pattern and want to learn how to read a graph, vice versa, check yourself. But the bottom line is, in this book, a great deal, not most everything, I don't know about most everything, but a great deal of the patterns start with a circle and turn it into a solid square, just like the spider. The circle, this body is part of the original square, and then the head is sewed on separately, and the legs, I think, maybe surface crocheted, or maybe not. I don't know. Probably not, because, you know, it's a 3D thing. So, anyway, I'm going to do at least those two. I'm going to look through and see. I haven't really studied to see if there's any other objects that I could use, like, but I could just do my own. Billie had some eyes, just like scary eyes. So maybe I'll do something like that. But for the the hooker versus hooker, you have to have specific designs. I mean, specific colors for the month. This month's colors, I'll show you as I pull them out of the bag. So this month's colors are green. Oh. Darn phone always interrupts me. So this month's colors are green. I really wanted slime green, but I'm out of it. And we are planning on moving over the winter. I want to buy more because it's on sale right now for $2.79. So I'm really torn between them if I'm going to buy some or not. And, by the way, Mary Maxim has a really good sale on blanket yarn. They have blanket yarn. If you like to do Amy's out of blanket yarn, just on a squirrel side note, if you like to do Amy's out of blanket yarn, they have some baby blanket yarn, which is still, I believe, a 6-weight. It's Bernat baby blanket yarn, so it is a 6-weight. I have some. $5.99 and 68 cents. I got a text for 68 cents shipping today. So if I'm going to do that order, you got to spend 40 bucks. If I'm going to do the order that I got in my cart, I need to, like, I think do that today or tomorrow. But I totally, $5.99, I haven't seen it that cheap. 220 yards on a skein. So, anyway, this is what I'm doing right now. I don't know if I'm going to order the slime and the varsity, no, the orange bright. I really want to do those for the kids. But these are nice colors too. These are very, you know, this is the Dreamweaver yarn that I used to, isn't it? Yes. That I used to be able to get at the store that doesn't sell it anymore. And it was real inexpensive. But this is a second color, green, orange. Oh. This also is a Dreamweaver. Purple. Very Halloween colors, right? And then black and white. So these are the colors we have to use for the squares. The black and the white go for eyeballs, but I'd want to put lines in them. And if I used one of these other colors, that would look kind of funny, wouldn't it? But maybe I'll just make some of those on the side, and they don't have to be part of the hooker versus hooker. I am not in the competition, so if I, you know, make a little faux pas here or there, it doesn't matter. You know, like if I add a color like red for the eyes, for the inside of the eyes, that's on me. They can disqualify me again. But I don't have to show that one either if I do the eyes, because I really thought the eyes were cute. Just give me a second. Let's get this back in here. So that's that's what I did want to tell you. I wanted to show you in this video what I'm going to be working on. Probably by the time you see this video, some of this yarn is going to be worked up because, like I said, tomorrow Roy is having a procedure, and I am working from this book while I'm waiting for him. That's my plan. Is to just take that big bag of yarn. I might start on them today. I still haven't done my 4 rows in the cat's Meow today, but I'm up to, like, as of yesterday, we had to be done with 12 rows, and I'm on track. But I was waiting for my laminated thing to come back, and I need to sit at the table to do that because I don't have to, but I find that in my little basket, if I have all my little yarns in there, I can just pull them and don't have to, you know, mess around too much. And so I like that very well, and I need the right kind of setup to make it, and it works out great. Which is also something probably very helpful. I just have a basket with my little cakes, and I can just pull out the one that I'm using and put the other ones back, and nothing is getting too twisted and too much, and then I don't have to swear and be mad at anybody or anything. If you organize it just right and you listen, and so Shannon was so much help. Thank you so much, Shannon, for putting out that video. I think a lot of people that were afraid or were struggling, what you said just made so much sense. And duh, make it easy on ourselves, right? Just kiss it, right? Keep it simple, stupid. I'm like, yes. Why didn't she talk to me before I started this? Oh, because she hadn't started it yet either. Next time you have really good ideas like that, Shannon, give a girl a call, email, a text, a neon sign. Hey, I can help you out. Maybe we should do that next time we're all in Zoom going, what the heck is going on here? So anyway, that is, I think, all I have for this is Vlogust Day 5. I have to keep myself current as to what we're talking about. Tomorrow's video is a very small haul, unless I go to Joann's. Well, okay, so that's all I have for you today. And I will see you guys in the next video tomorrow. Again, I'll still be in the same clothes because I'm doing 3 videos in a row. I just want to make sure that I have everything up to date and ready, you know, and see, because of Roy's procedure, we'll see how it goes. So I'm just going to film a little in advance. Alrighty, guys, I will see you tomorrow for day 6. Bye-bye.